All right, so we've set up the backend and deployed it and plugged in our GitHub webhook listener URL into GitHub, and issues are posting through to our database. So now it's time to actually set up the front end. So again, I'm going to type in SLS info to get those two Git URLs from our service and copy one of those. And we're going to jump into the front end folder. So I'm going to fold down that. And the front end is a React application. The entire source is inside of source. But the way that you can configure it is in the custom config file. Let's actually look at the config first. So there's a lot of different things you can do to customize this in any way, shape, or form that you want. But the way that you go ahead and plug in things is like so. So I'm going to just, I'm actually going to copy and paste out this API setup. So here's our API. And this is what it looks like. So we have an open and a closed URL. And again, I'm going to go back to my terminal, grab those two URLs. So there is one, and here is two. Cool. So we plug those in, and we'll talk about that later. So that's really all you need to do to get this set up and running is plug in your two API endpoints. And then we're off to the races. So let me actually save this guy and we'll go and run the front end. So if I CD back up and then CD into the front end. So to run the front end, all you need to do is type in npm start, and that will go ahead and start up the development server, and you can actually play around with the configuration locally. So this is actually going to give me no data back, except for there's our recently completed closed webhook. So that's kind of boring to look at. So let me actually plug back in my old values and we can get some live data here. Cool, so this is the serverless data. And what you could do with the front end is basically any one of these values. They're all kind of described in what they do. But one that you might want to check out first is the actual theming. So theme, I can actually change like the background color of the actual status board. So whoa, and then change maybe the card colors to like blue. So now it looks super radical. Whoa, that hurts my eyes. But yeah, so that's just kind of demoing the configuration. The other thing that you're definitely going to want to configure is how these columns work. And the way that the columns work is it's an array. And basically you can see them here. So we have discussing, let me undo these crazy styles. So we have 5 columns here, discussing, waiting, coding, and reviewing. The recently completed is hidden because we don't have any completed right now. But basically, you can see those here. So our first item in our array is discussing. So I could change that to high, and it would go ahead and update my label here. And what's actually showing in that column is all of the issues and pull requests. And again, this is pulling from the serverless/serverless repository right now. All of the issues and pull requests with these labels. And if you're confused on what your labels are, if you go into your actual repository and look at issues and then click on labels, you can see all the labels that you have in your repository. And you might want to refactor them to use this project. Who knows? But yeah, that's basically how the labels are mapped to a particular column. So if I wanted to put all the bug reports into one column, I could do that. And there's no limit to how many columns that you want or how few that you want. That's all configurable here. So I'm going to rename that back to discussing. The other kind of configuration option for the front end is these visible labels here. So we wanted to basically call out, where we had bugs or where there was things that we wanted help with, which you can see here, easy pick. The way that those work is this feature called ribbons. And basically, because a lot of things have a lot of different labels and what have you, you can't put everything in there. But what we wanted to do was call them out for people to see. So the way that those work is like, this is the label name. So anything that has the label of kind bug will have the visible label that you see here, bug. And we made the background red and the text color white. Same with status help wanted and status easy pick. So I could say, hello there. Save that. This will refresh. So it's all hot module loading, the niceness of React, and there we have it. Hello there in that ribbon. And we can change the color as well to, let's say, blue. So really, it's up to you how you guys want to configure this. Really extendable. It was fun building it. You can also sort columns and what have you, but I'm sure you guys will see that in the demo. But that is configuring in a nutshell. You want to look at the configuration options in the default config. You can fork the project and just change things here, or you can just overwrite them without hard forking the project in custom.config. Cool. So that is configuration. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to actually deploy this application so you can have it live on the web.